Hello, beautiful people. Yes, I am talking to you. Are you ready to feel confident AF, free from the expectations and opinions of others, and create ultimate self-trust in who you are, what you say, and how you show up in every part of your life? If you answered a hell yes, I am, I guarantee this episode will empower you to be 100% yourself, 100% of the time, no shame or guilt needed. It's time for you to strut your stuff, express yourself with freedom, and fully embrace every freaking fabulous part of you. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Freemon Sowers, your host, also known as the Breakthrough Bitch, because I am passionate about helping people in the LGBTQ plus and female communities break free from the social constructs, beliefs, and opinions that have been holding you back from experiencing life exactly the way that you want to. And I cannot wait to talk about this topic today. It is all about defying your reality. And the reason that this came up today was because I was deep in my sheets this week and I didn't want to get up and work out. And I was having some tension within myself. Go figure. Let me know if this has ever happened to you, where I wanted to stay in bed, but I also knew that I wanted to get up and work out. And it was like, what is going on here? Part of me is like, oh, stay here. Ronica had left. She had turned off all the lights. It was like the perfect atmosphere for going back to sleep. And then a part of me, let me know if this happens to you. A part of me is like, knock, knock. It's time to get up and work out. And I was like, oh no, it's time to sleep. No, it's time to get up and work out. We want to work out. Oh, all we have to do is put our feet outside of the bed, right? I had this conversation with this part of myself that wanted to stay in bed. And this wasn't like a Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 moment. This was like a 10-minute moment. And in that moment, I had to decide what was my true reality and what was my temporary reality. And so I thought, I cannot be the only one, because I know I'm not, because I hear it from my clients all the time. It just happens in different situations. I hear it from my friends. I hear it from my family. I hear it from people that just say, I wanted to do this, but for whatever reason, I couldn't do it. And so I didn't do anything. I just can't do the thing that I want to do. Right. And this is where we need to really clearly define what is a temporary reality and what is a true reality for us. And we often get those confused, but we often get it confused a lot about what is what we truly want and what is just what we're being told that we want. I'll clarify that a little bit later. So, how do you know you're ready to defy your reality? If I don't say something that you think of that tells you that you're ready to defy your reality, make sure to put it in the comments below or DM me, because I would love to hear it. So here's some signs and indicators that something is not working for you, right? There's an increase in anxiety or an increase in depression. There is a lot of mind chatter. So a lot of people come to me and they're like, I'm so tired of making decisions. I can't make any more decisions. I don't want to. They feel overwhelmed all of the time. And when I say all the time, I'm meaning like 95% of the time. Also, I'd ask you at this moment if you are pushing away how much you're actually feeling overwhelmed. Are you pushing away how much you're actually feeling more anxiety? Are you just saying, I just have to keep pushing through right now? I can't stop. And sometimes that's okay. But when we do it constantly, as we've heard in the episode I did about negativity in the body, when you keep pushing your body, when you keep pushing down your emotions, they will come out at some point in time. It will affect your health. It'll affect your mental health. It'll affect your emotional health. People sometimes say to me, I'm more emotional than I've ever been before. Something else they experience is they feel like they've lost who they really are. They're like, I really don't recognize myself. I'm making these decisions. What is my life really about right now? And I don't mean like, what is my life about in these dire straits, but like, I'm not experiencing my life the way that I want to. Something is not right. Like, what am I doing? The other thing they say is, I feel so unsettled all the time. They're doing all of the coping skills, all of the things 24/7 to feel safe and secure and confident, if it's even the kind of confidence that they want to experience, right? They have a yearning or a craving, and they feel like they may be always on. So that's a lot of things that I named. And I feel like this fits a lot of people if you'll truly stop and recognize it. If you could slow down enough. And that's the other thing too. People really struggle to slow down. If I slow down, then I'm going to realize these things, and then I'm not going to know what to do, or I have to fix them. I don't have time to fix them. I have to do all these things. And a lot of times we make our work the reason that we can't do something. We make our children the reason we can't do something. And we are focused so much on getting an accomplishment done or a goal reached that we fail to recognize our truest selves within us. We become in a patterned way of being, and you've heard me say this before. So in order to defy your reality, the first step is to recognize and to be willing to have an honest conversation within yourself or to yourself. Like, things aren't the way that I want them to be. And instead of saying, "Oh, well, it's fine. No, it doesn't matter. It'll get there eventually." You can say that, but you can also say, "Okay, I take notice of that. I don't have to judge myself. I don't have to feel bad about it. I take notice, and I'm going to move this other way." So the one question that you can ask yourself to help you defy your reality, that will help you, and the essential thing that needs to happen, is that you need to identify whether your reality is a temporary reality or a true reality. So I'm going to try and show you this through my example of wanting to sleep in. My temporary reality was I wanted to sleep in. Now, at some point in time in the future, I may decide, like, my truest self is saying, "Yes, let's sleep in right now." But because I had the tension, it wasn't from the truest self. It was, let's stay in bed. We're still tired, all of the things, right? But then I heard the knocking, and it was like, "Hey, let's get up. I'm ready to work out. I'm ready to move my body. I'm ready to experience this other thing." That was my truest self. Now, sorry, I had to get a drink. Now, the thing to recognize here is that this wasn't like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second rule Mel Robbins moment, which I have some of those sometimes, but this wasn't. This was like 10 minutes. And as I moved through this, I had to choose my truest reality. And that was to get up, get my booty up out of bed, and do my workout. When I made that decision, it felt really good. When I'm laying in bed, there was nothing but tension. Stay here, get up, stay here, get up, stay here, get up, right? The way I tell if something is my temporary reality or my truest reality is the temporary reality will often be driven by some kind of fear, some kind of scarcity, self-doubt, confusion. Maybe it has to be forced or defensive. I should have, has to have some kind of guilt associated with it, shame associated with it. And when that is happening, that is not my truest reality. So stay in bed, sleep. We're not going to get this chance again. We don't know how long we're deprived of sleep. All this stuff is coming up for me. And it wasn't from a place of knowing. It wasn't from a place of calm. The voice inside of me that was calm was like, let's get up. We know that we want to do this. It was full of assurance and safety. And so I ended up getting up. And it's like, I'm honoring the truest reality for me right now. Right. And that reality was tuning in to my true self. And so often we get confused because all of the parts of us that have been developed before to get us to the point where we're at, we've taken on as our identity. And this is not your truest identity. And when we discover what is our truest identity and we begin to heal these other parts of us, I don't struggle a lot to get out of bed anymore. It happens to me occasionally, but usually I'm up, I'm out of bed, I know exactly what I want to be doing, and I do that thing. And I move through life with more ease and freedom and joy and abundance and honestly, time, right? There's just a place of feeling really solid in what my decision was. So this is how you can tell what is the temporary reality and what is the truest reality. But what you have to do is be willing to go internal, to be willing to stop doing all the things externally that make you feel like you're worthy, that make you feel like you've accomplished something, that make you feel like you're moving forward in your life, and say, what is it we truly want? Because if you tune in to the truest self, you will know exactly who to be, how to be, and what to do to create your reality. There's not a lot of question there. There's not a lot of self-doubt there. And when you tap into your truest self, some people call it your intuition, some people call it your guide. I've called it the North Star before. They call it your higher self. When you tap within into this part and you trust it and you decide, instead of staying in bed, I'm getting out, instead of saying this thing in a defensive way, I'm going to say this thing in the way that I truly want to, in a respectful way to myself, then you experience life the way that you want to. So I'd love to ask you a quick question. If you have a pen and a paper, or even get your phone out, if you're watching this on your phone, you know, you have the notes section in your phone. Write down how you want to be experiencing your reality right now. I want more ease, joy, flow, abundance, freedom. Those are the things and how I want to experience my life. I want to be expansive and I want to live full out. Once I discover, and I would love to see, if you're listening to the podcast, DM me the way you want to be experiencing your reality right now. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, put it in the comments below. Because when we identify these, it automatically helps start directing the reticular activation system in your brain to start looking for those things and to trust, develop this ultimate self-trust from within. So I had a client who was experiencing a lot of anxiety about going with his boyfriend to this event. And he had had a really stressful week, and it had been busy and all the things. As he was moving to go to this event, he found himself in thoughts of, why am I doing this? I don't want to do it. I'm so tired. La la la. What'll happen if I don't go? I have to go. I should go. In that moment, he stopped and he tuned in to his true self. And he's like, what do we want to experience? What do we want to experience? And in that moment, he heard his truest self say to him, we want to experience this because we want to have this interaction in this way with this person. I want to be there because when I am there, I get to experience my life the way that I want to, and I get to experience my life the way I want to with this other person. Right? So many times we say we have to go. And this is really important about language. We forget so often about the language that we use. I am this. I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I am too sensitive, right? I am not smart enough. I am not brave enough. I have all this anxiety. The key to this is that we've adopted this identity from different ways of being. That isn't your truest self. And the minute you start connecting with the truest self, the minute you start being able to tune in, things become less complicated. The path becomes very clear. You know, ever since my dad passed away, I had one of his friends who passed away this week, actually. And again, my dad lived his life full out. This other person, Bobby McMullen, he lived his life full out. Like, they understood this concept that this is the path that I'm on. This is how I want to experience life. And other people didn't understand it. I mean, like, I didn't understand it sometimes, but the respect that comes from watching someone say, independent of what anyone else believes about my life, what they feel, what they think I should do, what I shouldn't do, how I should act, how I should appear, who I should be, independent of all of that, this is my path. And what ends up happening is that my dad and this other person, Bobby, inspired hundreds of people. The more we step into the truest self, the more we decide what our truest reality is and be able to tune into it in a second, in a millisecond. That is when you start experiencing life the way that you want to. And then other people get to experience life the way that they want to because you're experiencing life the way that you want to. Now, I've been called selfish. I've been called so many things in the online world because of this opinion. And it's fine because I'm the one that's living my life. I feel like, think of it. Like, wait, I'm the one that's living my life. You don't need to live my life. It's me. This is the kind of freedom that comes when you can be truly yourself 100% of the time without shame or guilt. This is the freedom that comes with knowing that I can say whatever I need to say in a way that I want to say it and know exactly how I want it to come out, and it will exactly come out that way. And I can walk away from any situation knowing that I was the person I wanted to be. That I can have an interaction and tune in immediately to my truest self to say, what is the way of being we want to be? It's guided by what you want to experience in your reality. If you're experiencing things you don't want to experience in your reality, it's time to shift it. It's time to defy it. It's time to say, I'm not doing that anymore, because I'm telling you, my friend, you have one short life to live. Gary Vee said on a video the other day, and I was like, yes, because this is my shtick for the last few years. It's been really full out. He's like, you die for a really long time. You're dead for a long time, but you're alive only for this short period of time. And it is really, what are we choosing to do? What are we choosing to experience? How do we want to experience that? And I'm here to tell you that if you want to experience your life exactly the way that you want to, you can. The thing that needs to happen is you need to tune into the truest self and unattach from all the other things that you've been told, that you've been taught throughout your whole entire life. Now, I know this is a big ask. Like, my clients all the time, when I talk to them about changing their reality and their identity, they're like, what the hell, Rachel? I don't want to. What's going to happen? All these things, like, what are people going to say? How am I going to live my life? Like, how will I survive? How will I do that? Like, it will all keep happening. Like, you will be able to experience differently. And it's you having the courage and taking the risk to truly tap into your own knowing, that knowing that's been covered up. Take out your piece of paper. Get out your phone again. What are the things that are happening in your life that are no longer working for you, that are no longer helpful? Those are the things that we start defying that actually are the reality. They're not really the reality. Now, some of this can feel really woo-woo or whatever. But when my clients experience this, when my clients think that they have to do things or something or be a certain way in order to feel love, and they decide that that's not the only option for them, the love they feel for themselves and in interaction with others is so much more luscious and juicy and exciting and adventurous and fulfilling. If you're struggling to have the confidence and the knowing that you can be exactly who you are 100% of the time without shame or guilt, I would love to talk to you. Because it is my conviction, my purpose on this earth is to help as many people in my community, the LGBTQ plus community, and the female communities to live life to the fullest. And that means 100% yourself, 100% of the time, no shame or guilt needed. We need you to show up as you, because when we do, the world becomes a better place. When Bobby and my dad are honored after they have lived their lives, I can't tell you the amount of people that are inspired by them. Now, I'm not doing this to necessarily inspire other people totally. I do this because this is how I want to be in the world. This is how I want to interact. This is what I want to do, right? And this is how I want to be living my life. If you are living your life the way that you want to now, I encourage you to say, what else could happen? What else might be possible if I went that much more, if I leaned that much more into myself? What else could I experience? Because when I experience abundance, other people experience abundance. When I experience empowerment, other people experience empowerment. Like, it's a ripple effect. We know this. And yet we stay so closed in. It's time to stop and remove all of those things. This is the truest and most honorable way of living, is by being 100% yourself 100% of the time, no shame or guilt needed. Again, this is about defying your reality. This is about saying, I want something different. Something is not working for me. They just turned on the freaking blower outside. All right. So that's my cue. I'm going to end this video like I end every single video. Please make sure to stay true to yourself, be kind to others, and always, always, always honor the wise one that is within you. Hey, hold up. Don't go yet. If this episode inspired and empowered you to be 100% yourself 100% of the time, no shame or guilt needed, even just a little bit more, please rate and leave a review. I'm here, and I know you are too, to leave a positive impact in the world. So please share this episode with your friends, family, or that random stranger, because you never know who you'll inspire by just being you. I'll see you on the next road to radical visibility. Bye.